If you're still drinking alcohol to be more confident with women,
I don't feel different. This alcohol's defective.
this video is going to be a bit of a tough love for you. So if you're not ready for this, to receive a bit of a slap, you do want to leave the video, right? Because you're probably not ready to hear what I'm going to say, and that's okay. I'm not judging you here. You can keep on drinking alcohol to be more confident with women. All good. Most men still to this day are using alcohol to be more confident. So you will still be like everyone else, and all good. Nothing wrong with that, right? Now, if you're someone that is willing to create a dating shift, to create something a bit different for your situation right now, and you know that drinking alcohol is not the best option for you, then you're gonna love what I'm gonna say, and it's gonna hurt a little bit, but you actually need to hear this. Now, quick little backstory, because you need to understand where I'm coming from. This is a bit unusual actually, because for me, alcohol never really helped me, in the sense that when I was 18, 19 years old, I was drinking a lot, of course, like every teenager. And it didn't help me to attract women because it didn't make me confident. I was still scared to talk to a girl. I was feeling the approach anxiety like crazy. I was still feeling inadequate, not good enough, blah, 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 right? And all my friends that were drinking alcohol were having results. I was the only one, like, if I would drink a whole bottle of wine, still I was shy, still introverted, still scared. To the point that if a friend of mine would bring a girl to me, like let's imagine we're in a club and we're sitting at a table and they bring a girl to me, right? Because this happened. I would become red even though I was drunk, right? I would become stifled even though I was drunk. It was so frustrating because I had no other choice but to actually face my fears and my insecurities. So it is a gift that I had to deal with that, because alcohol didn't do it for me. I had no choice, right? But at the same time, it was very painful because I wanted that quick fix. I wanted, I'm being honest. Like, if I would have had the opportunity to drink alcohol and be confident, I would have taken it, right? So I know you're watching this because you're drinking alcohol, and now I'm saying this and it might feel a little bit like, what the fuck? But this is the reality. It is very attractive to use alcohol to be more attractive with women, to be more confident, because it's easy. You just have to buy the bottle of wine or the bottle of beer or whatever you fucking drink, and that's it. No need to work. Now, maybe you're tired of this, right? Maybe you want to be authentically confident. Maybe you want to create a connection without needing to drink wine, beer, or whiskey, or whatever, right? Maybe because alcohol is not the best option, right? Not good for your health. Maybe it gives you erectile dysfunction, right? Because that's one thing, when you drink alcohol, it numbs your body, right? So you have this woman in front of you, but you cannot even get it up. How can you enjoy the sexual experience when you have drank so much alcohol? Makes no sense. You cannot. So my advice to you is to take responsibility for your own situation, right? I am not saying that you should stop drinking alcohol from today, because maybe it's going to be really, 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 really hard. And maybe you're not ready for this level of responsibility, and that's okay, right? But how about you slowly decrease the amount of alcohol you intaking, so that you get to a point in 1 month, maybe 2 months, where you just drink maybe one glass of wine in one night, right? You will feel almost not drunk, maybe slightly tipsy if you're like me. I mean, at this point, because I don't drink alcohol, if I drink just a little bit, I'm tipsy very fast because I became very sensitive. So of course, if you have the experience, it's probably not going to happen, but you want to come to a point where you drink just a little bit and you rely more on taking responsibility and actually facing your fears and insecurities, right? So the second thing you want to do is to identify what is leading you to drink alcohol. What are you avoiding when you decide to drink alcohol? Are you avoiding this sense of like, I'm not good enough? Are you avoiding getting rejected by a woman and avoiding the pain of getting rejected, right? Because maybe rejection, logically speaking, is okay, but then when it happens, it's fucking painful. And you don't like that other people are looking at you when you're getting rejected, right? The judgment is fucking painful. What are you avoiding? And become crystal clear about this, right? You really want to make sure that you know the reason why you're using alcohol, because there's a reason why you're doing it, right? Maybe on the surface you're saying, oh, but I like it, it's okay, right? But deep down, there's a reason why. You're avoiding something. And then, depending on the issue you're dealing with, which 90% of the time is an internal issue, you will need to do the internal work. You will need to deal with this anxiety that you feel when you're about to meet a woman. You will need to deal with this inadequacy. You will need to deal with this fear of rejection, this fear of judgment of other people. And you will be surprised that when you start diving internally to what's actually happening inside, you will see that each of these emotions, each of these limiting beliefs, these stories that you're telling yourself, they have a root cause. They have a story to tell you that usually comes from your childhood. Somewhere around your childhood, you had an experience that led you to believe that if you want to meet a woman, you're going to get rejected. So now you have this imprinted in your mind and even in your body. So whenever you see a woman you want to meet, you suddenly feel the fear because it is imprinted in your mind and body, right? Maybe your mom raised you in a specific way that didn't let you to feel good enough. That's very common. This was my case, for example. To be fully vulnerable with you, my mom wasn't emotionally available for me, right? And this led me to feel super inadequate because I needed her emotional affection, but because she was very logical, very in her head, feeling insecure about certain things, she didn't give me that when I was young. So this led me to grow up with this sense of inadequacy because I don't even deserve the love of my mom. So why would I deserve the love of other women? Because it's really important, right? So I had to heal that in order to feel good enough for a woman that I find really attractive. And this was a whole journey in itself that took me some time, right? It didn't just happen like this. Oh, I'm doing one meditation and then that's okay. No, it didn't happen like this. It took so much work to actually heal these parts of myself that were wounded, that felt inadequate, that felt anxious. And that's really how you start building real confidence. You do the internal work, and at the same time, you start taking actions, but these actions have to be aligned with your internal word, right? So let's say, for example, you want to meet a woman. You're maybe not going to meet 50 women that night, right? Maybe you only meet the woman you really find attractive, and that's maybe 2 or 3. And you just stick to that, and that's it. And that's enough in itself to start building this real confidence, to start feeling adequate, to start feeling good enough for your 10 out of 10. You don't need to meet 50 women. You don't need, you know. So do the internal work and take the adequate actions that reflect your internal word so that you start building this real confidence. You start raising your self-worth. You start feeling more and more centered, more and more grounded, more and more masculine, more and more calm. And this is what will make you attractive. This is what will allow you to meet a woman without overthinking, without feeling the anxiety. And you will be able to be a natural like this, right? This is the crazy thing about doing internal work. you become a natural because you don't have these voices, these emotions that are on the way blocking you to be this very attractive version of yourself. This is the work that I teach in my mentoring. This is why some men decide to join either the academy, which is a group coaching program, or my one-on-one, because they realize that they have internal issues that are manifesting in their dating life. And instead of using techniques, pretending to be the alpha, using a deep tonality, maybe they need to go internally and actually deal with these things instead of avoiding it through alcohol, techniques, and all of that bullshit, right? Thank you for watching. If you want to have access to a free course that is actually teaching you to grab at least one number from your ideal woman in the next 7 days, you can click on the link down below. I'm sharing the entire framework here, and there is an aspect of internal work in that course that you learn from me totally for free. So if you're interested in that, click the link down below, and I see you when I see you.